Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme tutorial. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to create this section that's an image, but when you hover over it, it's going to reveal the content. So here's our section with an image, the keyboard there. When I hover over it, it's going to fade in and reveal the content. Really easy to do with the Divi theme. So let's get started. First thing I need to do is enable the visual builder at the top here. Once enabled, I'm going to get rid of this section that I've created right here. And we'll start from scratch. Okay, well, I want to add a new section. Little blue button there to add a section. I'm going to make it a regular section. And inside, I'm going to put a row with 5 columns, and I'm only going to use the 3 middle ones because I'm going to make it a full width row, but I want to give the impression that it's a regular size row, so I'm going to use that. I'm not going to put anything inside that first one. This second one I'm going to put a blurb, and for expediency I'm just going to do similar for the rest of them. Just pop an image in there. The blurb's open here. I'm going to shut the text up. I'll leave that as it is. Obviously you're going to want to put something in that means something to somebody. And let's use that image right there. It's fine. Now I just want to clone it. 2 little squares there. I'm going to clone it twice. 1 and click on it again. 2. Doesn't matter which one you move because they're all the same. So I'm going to just occupy these 3 middle columns here. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to make this row full width. So let's go into the row, the green tag right here, the little cog. We'll go to design and we'll make it full width by going to sizing, width, slide that up to 100%, copy the 100%, and you want to paste it in max width below. Of course you can type it in if you prefer. That's better. We've now got a full width section, but it looks like a regular section because we've just occupied those 3 middle columns. Okay, next we want to give our row a background color. So let's start off in the content section, go down to background, start off with a red color. It's fine, and we'll give it a bit of space top and bottom for our blurb modules there. So we'll go to design, spacing. I'm going to give it 50 pixels top, 50 pixels bottom. That's fine. Okay. Now, I'm going to have it red when it starts, and I'm going to have it end up being blue when it finishes. That way there's a little sort of color fade in between where you get sort of purpley colors and what have you. So let's go back to our background. Now to make a hover effect, we need to go over the black background legend there, and these little icons will appear. If they're not there, just hover over it like that and they will appear. We want to hit the arrow, which will give us a desktop or non-hover state, and hover, which funnily enough is the hover state. And the hover state I'm going to make blue. There we go. Now, default transition time for these modules is 300 milliseconds, which is great for a lot of things, but what I want to do today, I need a lot longer transition time, so I'm going to give mine 2 seconds. So I've gone to the advanced, I've gone down to transitions, and there's the default 300 milliseconds. I'm going to make it 2 seconds or 2000 milliseconds. Great. Okay, well, we can't read our blurbs very well there, so let's change the writing to a light color. Let's go into this first one, go to design, text, and I'm going to flip it from dark to light. And rather than have to edit each individual blurb module there, I'm going to just save this. I'm going to right click on the blurb module and say extend blurb styles. I don't want every blurb on the page to do that, but I do want every blurb in this row to do that. So I'm going to select this row and hit extend. Fantastic. I guess we better put different images in these two here very quickly. image and icon. Let's choose a different image. Same for the next one. There we go. Okay, so we've got our kind of section complete there. Just save these changes. Now let's work on our, we've got our row complete there. Let's work on our section, which is the blue tab. Hit the little cog for that. And I want to put a background image in. Now I like to use the blend feature, so I'm going to put a color in as well as an image. I'm just going to put a blue color in. Color, gradient, image, video. I'm going to go over to image and we'll plop a little background image in. Let's use that one right there. And that's fine, but I want it to blend. So I've gone down to the bottom of the image section here. I'm going to change that to screen. That's fine. You can't really see it there, you'll see it in a moment. So that's our section taken care of. Let's go back into our row and make it do what we want. Now we've done the color fade, but I also want it to be invisible until somebody mouses over it. So let's go in back to our row. We'll go to design. We'll go down to filters, roll down a little bit. I want to go down to opacity, and again I only want this to happen when they're not hovering over it. So let's hit the little arrow, desktop state, take that all the way down to 0, which is invisible. Now you can see that image behind there. Okay, now on the hover state I want it to be 100% visible, so fully visible. There we go, fantastic. So let's take it back to the desktop state, invisible there. Now the only thing that we need to do, if I pop it back to hover state, is take away the padding on the section, so there's no, you know, you haven't got these bits sticking top and bottom. So let's go back into our section again. We'll save our row, go into the section, and I'll go to design and then padding, which is in spacing. Make sure there's no padding top and no padding bottom. Now the row and the section should be exactly the same height. So let's save our changes and see how this is going to work for us. Save the page changes, little purple button. Once saved, let's exit the visual builder and see what we've got. So there's our little image background. Now when we roll our mouse over it, the content appears, and it takes 2 seconds to appear. And I don't know if you saw that, there's a little sort of purpley, as it changes from the red to the blue, it's got a little sort of purpley hue as it's changing color. And that's quite a nice effect, especially if people are just going down your page and suddenly they realize, oh, there's something there. And of course you can put any modules you want in here, call to actions, whatever you happen to want. And of course when they roll off of it, it'll change. So there we have it. There is how to make a section with an image fade into content. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please ring the bell, give it a thumbs up, share, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.